Hello and welcome to Surds TV. My name is Surds, and today on Surds TV we want to look at fractions as a whole. And in the fractions we'll be looking at what fractions really is or what fractions are. We'll also be looking at types of fractions. We'll also be looking at additions, subtraction of fractions, looking at multiplication and also division of fraction, and also we'll take some questions on the bottom one. So I want you to stay glued with me so that we'll dive into fractions. So what are fractions, or what is a fraction? The simple definition I can give of a fraction is fractions are part of a whole. Now, if we say fractions are part of a whole, what does it mean? Now, if I have an orange, and in school I go out for break and a friend asks me part of the, give him some of the orange. Now, the orange I have is a whole. It's a whole. So maybe I divide it into 4 pieces, and a friend or a brother said, give me some of the orange, and I give this part to the friend. So the orange has now become like this. Then I give this part to the friend. What I'm giving is a fraction of the whole thing. So this is what we are talking about, called the fraction. Because it was 4. When all the 4 come together, it is a whole, right? Then if part is given, that part is fraction. And that part being a fraction also makes this one also called a fraction. So this is 1 of the whole 4, and this is 3 of the 4, remaining 4. When it comes together, it forms a uniform fraction, or forms 1. Another example I can give about fraction is when we go to a school setting, say a secondary school. Now our dining or our meals are prepared by our matron, in the school. Now he prepared the food in a big pot, right? Then when the food is ready, the food is divided into tables. So the whole pot becomes, that's the whole. And the table, let's say we are serving 20 tables. So he will tear the food bit by bit. He will serve every table in a saucepan. So he will give every table part of the food. That's a fraction of the food. Now when the tables are being served, and you take your bowl and you go to the dining, every table now becomes a whole. You understand? The big saucepan is the whole, and it's shared for the saucepan. That's a fraction. Now, when the tables are set, the tables also becomes a whole for each table. Now you take your bowls, you take your plates and go there, and it's being served to you in the form of a fraction, so that everybody on the table will get some. Hello? Everybody on the table will get some. So that is also a fraction. When you also get yours, and you also go to the dormitory, and a friend says, oh, Charlie, I'm not satisfied, let me help you eat. You eat together. You are taking the fraction while the person is also taking the fraction. So that is how fraction is. We can go on and on and on and on to talk about fraction. So that is a simple way of fraction. Giving part of something to someone is a fraction. Like a filling station. Okay? A filling station, cars goes there to buy fuel. Now, the fuel that the car brought is a whole. So when this car comes, they give a portion of that whole to the person. They give a portion to the second car, to the third car, to the fourth car, so that everybody gets part of the fuel through buying. Now let's look at types of fractions. Now we have about 6 types of fractions, and I want to explain them very carefully because our understanding of the topic fraction is based on these types of fraction. So I want you to stay with me. Now, the first type of fraction we have is a proper fraction. Now, a proper fraction is a fraction whereby the denominator is bigger than the numerator. Let's give a real example. A real example of a proper fraction. Now, it is such that a woman carrying the baby, okay? A woman carrying the baby. If you see a woman, then the woman is carrying the baby. There is a type of fraction called proper fraction. So, if you are confused with proper fraction, just take the idea of a woman carrying the baby, even at the back or on the head or whatever, is a proper fraction. Because it is the environment will accept that. Because if I am working with my son or my daughter and I am carrying the daughter, the environment accepts it. Our community accepted that it is okay. So that one is accepted. That I carry my child. So that is proper. So improper will be what? Improper will be the child carrying me. So right now, if I'm walking in town and my child around 4 or 5 years is carrying me and we are going in town, what will people say? People will say, this man, is he going crazy? You want to kill the child? Because it is not accepted. So that is improper. The improper way, that is improper. Because if the child is carrying the big mother, it's not right. But in mass, we call it what? Improper fraction. So that's the difference between proper and improper fraction. So proper fraction is simply when the mother carries the baby. And improper fraction is what? When the baby carries what? The baby carries what? The mother. So simple like that. I hope it's clear. Now let's look at another two. That is like and unlike fractions. Like and unlike fractions. So like fractions. Let's write here unlike fractions as well. Now with the like fractions, let me give you an example. Now I'm walking in town with a fellow guy or a fellow man. Okay? I'm walking in town with a fellow man. And my hand, even if my hand is on the neck, people wouldn't talk much about it. Because they would think that it is normal that a boy should walk with a boy, right? In the African setting, it's normal. Now, when it happened that I am walking in town with a lady and my hand is all over the neck of the lady, people were like, hey, these people, are they couples? You understand? That idea will come out. So if a lady and a lady are walking, they are of the same gender, so they are like fractions. Is it clear? But when a lady is walking with a man, that one, people will start reading me. Hey, are they couples? Are they even in a school setting? When they see a female and a male student, people start reading me. Hey, the girl no one like. Are they going out? Are they going out? You understand? But if the two guys are walking, they are going to learn or something. You understand? So that's the difference between like. So if we have a fraction whereby we have 5/3 and 4/3, you see that the denominators are the same. If the denominators are the same, it is seen as what? Like fractions. But if we have 4/3 and also we have 1/2, the denominators are not the same. So it is not seen as like they are unlike fractions. So like and unlike fractions, the difference is the denominators. If we have two or more fractions, whereby the denominators are the same, it is seen as like fractions. But when they are not the same, these fractions are called unlike fractions. I hope we are moving. Okay. Now two more fractions we want to look at is unit fractions and also decimal fractions. Now decimal fractions is so simple that if I have a fraction like 4.3, we can write this in a fraction as what? 43/10. So simple like that, because it is assumed that this point here will give you 1, and the numbers we have over here also give you zeros as you move along. Okay. Now we also have unit fraction, whereby it's a simple catch that if we have a fraction and the numerator is 1, so 1/7, 1/8. 1/12. Any fraction with a numerator of 1 is called a unit fraction. So let's get down with the type of fractions. Now, one more fraction I wanted to talk about is mixed fraction. And I want to explain it better because we will be meeting that most of it. Now, mixed fraction. Mixed fractions are written with a whole number and a proper fraction. Now, we are saying that it's a whole number and a proper fraction before. We can have a mixed fraction whereby we will have an improper fraction. Like this. 2 number 5/3. It won't happen. It won't happen. This is not a mixed fraction. It's wrong. A mixed fraction should come with a whole number and a proper fraction. That is what a mixed fraction. Now let me explain in real terms. Now in real terms, we can say that a man walking with a wife, and the woman carrying what? A baby. Because we know that a woman carrying a baby is seen as what? It's seen as a proper fraction, right? A woman carrying a baby is a proper fraction. So if the husband is with them and they are walking, that is what? A mixed fraction. Because you can see a whole number, that is the man, walking with the wife carrying the baby, that's a proper fraction. So that's a clear example of that. Is it clear? Good. Now let's go to addition and subtraction of fractions. Before we look at that, there's one important thing I want us to look at. Now we can convert improper fractions to mixed fractions and vice versa. What do I mean by that? If I have a situation whereby the child is carrying the mother, so 5/3, the child is carrying the mother because the down is smaller than the big, than the top. Now we can change this to mixed fraction, whereby we can write a whole number and something. Now to do that, we consider the 3 here. So we will say 3 times 1 equals what? 3. 3 times 2 equals what? 6. Now 3 times 2 equals 6 is more than the numerator, so we can use that one. So we use the top one. 3 times 1 is 3. Now 3 times what the 3 is times it becomes the whole number. The denominator repeats itself. The denominator here will repeat itself. So we have 3 times 1 is 3 plus what will give you 5, that is 2. So we'll get it like that. If we have 2 whole number 1 over 2 and we are converting to improper fraction, what do we do? We multiply the denominator here by the whole number like this. We multiply this and this. The answer that we get, we add it to this. So 2 times 2 gives me 4. 4 plus 1 gives me what? 5. All over the denominator here, 2 again. So simple like that. So simple like that. So simple like that. So now let's go, because we're repeating this. We will have to convert them. That's why I have to bring it. So let's go straight to the addition subtraction of fractions. Now we have 5 over 12 plus 6 over 12. Now when we are adding or subtracting fractions, we have to consider the type of fraction that we are working with. It's very, very important. Now, if you are working with a fraction with the same denominator, that is like fractions. Because we said like fractions are fractions whereby the denominators are the same. So if we are working with fractions, either addition or subtraction, whereby the denominators are the same, it's very simple. What we have to do is that because the denominators are the same, we have to just add the top. So 5 plus 6 gives me 11. Then we repeat all the denominators. That's all we are done. That's all. The same way, another example on this, we have 6 over 7 minus 1 over 7. Again, the denominators are the same. So we don't need to think plenty about it. So what we have to do, we have to work with the numerator. So it will be 6 minus 1 all over 7. Then that will 5 over 7. Then we are done. Then we are done like that. So simple like that. So simple like that. Is it clear? So when we are adding fractions or subtracting fractions, and we check the denominators and realize that the denominators are the same, we don't need to worry. We just have to add the top, then just maintain all the denominators. Then that's all. Is it clear? Okay, let's take more examples on that. So we have 1 over 1 over 2 plus 6 over 2 minus 5 over 2. Now, we have this as a question to simplify. Hello, we are simplifying this. Now, we can see that the first one is 1 over 1 over 2. The first thing to do is that we have to work on that. We have to change it. We can't solve it with with the mixed fraction. This is a mixed fraction. So we have to just convert the mixed fraction into improper fraction. Then we add it to this, the rest of them, then we solve. So how do we do? I said we multiply this by this. So 2 times 1 gives me what? 2. Plus 1 gives you 3. So we are getting 3 over 2 for the mixed fraction. Plus 6 on 2 minus 5 over 2. Now we are getting this. Now, we can see clearly that the denominators are the same. The 3 denominators are the same. So we will work with what? Only the numerators. Now, we are going to get 3 plus 6 minus 5, all on 2. Now, you just add or subtract the top. Now, when we are working with board maths, in board maths, addition comes before subtraction. So we will first add this and subtract this. We will first add this and subtract it. Because board mass is BODMAS. Addition comes before subtraction. So 3 plus 6 gives me what? 9. 9 plus 9 minus 5 gives me 4. So we are going to get 4 on 2. And we can still break it down and get 2. But I want to leave our answer like this for now because of what we are doing. Okay. So our answer is 4 on 2. Because the denominators are the same. So when we are solving mass and the denominators are the same fraction, denominators are the same, we don't think plenty. We just have to what? Concentrate on the numerator and just move along. Now let's take the ones whereby the numerators are not, the denominators are not the same. And look at how we look at that. So when we are also solving fractions with different denominators, the idea called LCM comes to play. So we'll use the idea we call LCM. Now I want to explain the LCM approach and what it means to say I'm using LCM. Now with the LCM approach, our concentration will be on the denominators. We will find a common multiple for the denominator. Then we use it at what? Our denominator for both fractions. Now we have 2 here and we have 3 here. These are our denominators. So what do? We have to find the LCM. Now this is the idea of the LCM. So we write 2 and we list multiples of 2. So 2, our next number will be 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, and so on. Then we'll do the same thing for 3. So 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, and so on. Now among the multiples of 2 and the multiples of 3, we can see that some numbers appear in the 2 and also appear in the 3. Those numbers are called what? Common multiples. So common multiples, those that appear at the top and at the down. We can see 6 here, 6 here. We can also see 12 here and 12 here. So these are the common multiples. Now, among these 2 common multiples, which one is the smallest? That is the least. So LCM. Among the 2, the least is what? 6. So this is the 6 that we use for the LCM. It's so simple like that. That's the idea of it. Now, we'll draw a line here. Then we'll say the LCM we got is what? 6. We'll write it down here. That will be the denominator after we finish adding everything. That will be our denominator. So we'll say how many times will 2 go into 6? That means that 2 times what gives you 6. How many times will 2 go into 6 simply means 2 times what will give you 6. So 2 times 3 gives me 6. So 3, then we multiply that 3 by the numerator of the 2, that is 7. Then our plus sign will come. We do the same thing here. 3, how many times will 3 go into 6? 2 times. So that 2 times is 5. Hello? Then we go ahead to get 3 times 7 is what? 21 plus 10 all over 6. Then you get what? 31 on 6. That's all. That is all. That is all. It's so simple like that. It's so simple like that. Let's take another example, or 2 more examples on this one. Let's take these 2 examples. Now we have 1 over 8 minus 1 over 8 minus 3 on 4. And we also have 4 over 5 minus 1 on 4. Now, let's use the same LCM approach. When we find the multiples of 8, multiples of 4, we can see that we have 4 and we have 8 to be the least. So the LCM here will be 8. Now 8 goes into 8 how many times? 1. 1 times 1 is what? 1. Minus 4 goes into 8 how many times? 2. 2 times 3 is what? 6. So we are going to get to minus 5 on 8 for this one. We are done. We are done. Now for this one, we will draw our line over here. Now the LCM for 4 and 5 is 20. If we list the multiples of 4 and we list the multiples of 5, we will see that 20 is the least. So 20 is our LCM. Now 5 goes into 20 4 times. 4 times 4 gives me what? 16. Then 4 going to 20 5 times. 5 times 1 is what? 5. So we are going to get 16 minus 5 is what? 11 on what? 20. And we are done. So this is addition and subtractions of fractions. Now let's move to multiplication and division, which is very, very simple. Then after that, we'll take some board math questions. Then we'll look at them, about 4 of them or 3 of them. Then we'll call it a day. So join me and let's watch the video to the end. Thank you very much. Let's go. Now, multiplication and division. Another simple aspect of fractions. Now, when we are multiplying or dividing fractions, we consider certain things. Now, if I say cancellation comes in fractions. Now, let's look at something. If I have 4 over 8 times 1 over 2. Now, when we are multiplying, there's an idea we call top by top and down by down. What do I mean by that? We multiply the numerators separately and multiply the denominators also separately. Then we get our answer. Let me say, by example, let's say 4 over 16. Because 4 times 1 is 4, 8 times 2 is what? 16. We get it like that. Then we move. Then we can cancel our answer, then we get what we want. Now, there is something we call cancellation when we come to fractions. Now, if I say cancellation, how do we cancel in fractions? Now, when we are canceling, we cancel like this, we cancel like this, we cancel like this, and we cancel like this. When we are multiplying, we cancel like this, we cancel like this, we cancel like this, and we cancel like this. What do I mean by that? When we want to, we cancel like this. The numerator of a fraction can cancel the denominator of the same fraction. We also cancel like this, as this one. We also cancel like this and like this. We can cancel the numerator of one fraction with the denominator of another fraction. Again, we can cancel the numerator of a fraction with the denominator of another fraction. We can also cancel the numerator of one fraction of its own denominator. But we can't cancel a numerator and a numerator. No. That's why we go in the line over here. So this is how we cancel. Numerator, denominator, numerator, denominator. That's how we cancel. In a nutshell, I'll say a numerator cancels a denominator. Is it clear? A numerator cancels what? A denominator. Now, let's take something here. So we have 520 times 4 on say 15. Now we can break this down. Now we can see that we can cancel this with this. 5 goes here 1, it goes here 4. Then we can also cancel 5 goes here 1, it goes to 15 3 times. It works. We can also cancel 4 goes here 1, it goes to 25 times. It works. So let's say 4 goes here 1, it goes here 5 times. I can also say 5 cancel here, it cancel here 1, or 5 cancel here, it cancel here 3. Is it clear? So 5 goes here 1. I can either use to cancel this or that because they are all denominators. So 5 goes here 1, it goes here 3 times. Then I'll get 1 times 1 over 5 times 3. That will give me 1 over what? 15. That is how we cancel in fractions, especially multiplication fractions. So with multiplication, I'm saying that we multiply the top and we multiply the down. But if we want to cancel, we have to be careful. That is the case to be that when we are adding and subtracting, please, we don't cancel as we cancel in multiplication and division. When we are adding and subtracting, we don't cancel as we cancel in what? Multiplication and division. When we are adding or subtracting, we cancel like this and like this. Finished. Let's say we have 5 over 10 minus 2 over, let's say 5. We can't cancel this with this. It's wrong. We can't cancel this with this. No, it's wrong. We can't do that. The only thing we can do, we can cancel this and cancel this. Finish. We can't cancel like this. Is it clear? Good. So let's look at the division of fractions. Then we go to board ones. Now, the division of fractions is so simple. Now, we have to understand something with the division of fractions. When we are dividing fractions, what we do is that our concentration will be on the other term. Now, before we come to this, when we have something like 2 plus 3, now 2 plus 3, it has 2 terms. This is seen as the first term, and this is seen as the second term. So, the signs we use in math, plus, minus, division, and multiplication, these signs tell us how many terms that we have. So 2 plus 3, we have 2 terms. This is one of the terms, and this is also the other term. Hello? Now we have this. We have 2 terms as again. The division is separating this from that. So we have 2 terms. Now this is what we do. When we are dividing fractions, our concentration will be on the second term. What do we do to the second term? We reciprocate the second term. What do I mean by reciprocate? We exchange it. Our numerator becomes the denominator, and our denominator becomes the numerator. Then the sign will change to multiplication. What do I mean by that? So we get 5 on 7 times, then this one will come up 7 over 2. You see, it has changed, and it has made the sign change. So always, when we are dividing, we reciprocate the term, and the second term, the term at the right hand side. Then the sign will change to multiplication. Then we know what to do in multiplication. We multiply the top, and we multiply the down. In this case, this and this can cancel. So 5 7 goes here 1, it goes here 1, right? Then we get what 5 on 2. Now let's look at this one. The same thing over here. We reciprocate this one. Okay? So we are going to get 1 over 5 when we change this one to be what? 10 over what? 5. Now, before we have changed this one, the sign will change to what? Multiplication. Then we just multiply. 1 times 10 gives me what? 10. 5 times 10 gives me what? 25. Now you can cancel, right? 5 goes here, 2, it goes here, 5. That's what? 2 on 5. So simple like that. So simple like that. Now, I wanted to think about 3 questions under board maths, whereby all the things that we talk about will come to play. We'll have a question with addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division, and even with more signs. But we have a method or a way we use to solve it. So I want us to take questions under board maths. Then we'll take it one after the other, about 3 of them. Then after that, I'll give you some to try. Then after you try them, you can send it to me on my WhatsApp line. I'll give it at the end of the teaching, so that you send it to me. Then I check them for you. So let's go straight to board maths. Now let's look at board maths. Now, what really is board maths? Board maths is a step-by-step way of solving fractions involving different symbols or different signs. Now, the board maths we have over here simply means, this means bracket. This one means off. This one means division. This one means multiplication. This one means addition. And this one means what? Subtraction. Now, it is a step-by-step way. Now, what it means is that when I have a question that involves 2 or more signs, I have to concentrate on board maths. It means that I'll check the question where, if we have brackets, I'll tackle the things in the bracket first. After I'm done, I'll check if I have off. So when I have off, I'll tackle with the ones with the off first. When the off is gone, then I move to division. And I do the same thing until I get subtraction, then I get my answer. So it is a step-by-step way of solving maths or fractions involving, or mathematics as a whole involving 2 or more symbols. Okay, so that is simple as such. So let's compare about 3 questions and let's look at them, how we will solve them, as we have this idea in our heads. Alright, so let's look at this question on board maths. Now, we will first look at the questions in the brackets. So after we are done with the question in the brackets, then we look at them. Because board maths says that we should start with brackets, then we go to off, we go to division, multiplication, addition, and subtraction. Is it clear? So now let's look at the question in the bracket. So we are having 2 on 3 of 27 on 4 divided by, now the LCM here is 15. 15 goes to 15 1. 1 times 34 gives me 34. Minus 3 goes to 15 5 times. 5 times 5 gives me what? 25. So we are going to get 2 on 3 of 27 on 4 divided by, now 34 minus 25. 34 minus 25 gives me 9. So that is 9 over 15. Now, we can reciprocate this side. So we are getting 2 on 3 of 27 over 4. Now, when we reciprocate this, we are going to get 15 on 9. Because we have reciprocated, the sign goes to what? Multiplication. Now, what do we do from here? We multiply the top and multiply the down. So we are going to get 2 on 3 of 15 times 27 gives us. No. 15 times 27 gives us 405. All on 4 times 9 gives us 36. Okay, 4 times 9 gives us 36. Now we are getting 2 over 3 times 2 over 3 of 4 over 36. Now from the what we do, we change the off to what? We change the off to multiplication. So we are going to get 2 on 3 times 405 over 36. Now we can do some cancellation over here. We can do some cancellation. Now 2 goes here 1, it goes here 18 times. Now let's see if 3 also cancel here 1. You cancel here 135 times. Now I'm getting 135 over 18. And the final answer will give us 15 on 2. When we cancel out, we get 15 on 2. When we are writing it in a mixed fraction, we are going to get 7 whole number 1 over 2 to be our final answer. So that is our final answer for this one. Now let's take another one before I write some questions on the board for you. So let's take another one. Now we have this question is mixed with mixed fractions and proper fractions. So we have to first convert the mixed fraction to improper fraction. Then we solve it alone. Now 37 over 1 over 2, we can convert it to improper fraction. Then 18 over 1 over 3, so we can also convert it to what? Improper fraction. Now we convert this one, we are going to get 75 on 2 for this one. Divided by 5 on 9 of bracket 4 over 7 plus 1 over 5, bracket close, minus. Now 80 minus 80 whole number 1 over 3, when I convert, I'm going to get 241 on 3. Now what we did was just converting the mixed fraction into what? Improper. We didn't do anything, we just converted. Now from there, what we do again is to obey the board math. We are doing bracket first, and this is the bracket. So we'll find the LCM over here. So 72 over 2 divided by 5 on 9 of. Now the LCM here gives me 35. Now 7 goes to 35 5 times. 5 times 4 is 20 plus 5 goes to 35 7 times. 7 times 1 is 7 in the bracket minus 241 over 3. Hello. Now what we do now, we have to complete this one. So we are going to get 72 on 2, 75 on 2 divided by 5 on 9 of 27 over 35 minus 241 over 3. Now the bracket is gone. We are having a single fraction. So we take it from there. Now, we are done with off now. We are done with the bracket, so we are going to off. So off is multiplication. So we will just change the sign to multiplication and solve it. Is it clear? We are going to get 75 on 2 divided by 5 on 9 times 27 on 35 minus 241 on 3. We are still on multiplication. We can do something here. 9 goes here 1, it goes here 3 times. 5 goes here 1, it goes here 7 times. We are going to get 75 on 2. 3 times 1 gives me 3, and 1 times 7 gives me what? 7. Minus 241 over 3. Is it clear? Now from there we have 75 on 2 divided by 3 on 7 minus 241 on 3. Now we have division here. We are done with the off, so we are going to division. So the division, we reciprocate this fraction over here. We are going to get 75 on 2 times 7 on 3 minus 241 on 3. Now, after doing that, we can do some calculation here. Now, 3 goes here 1, it goes here 25. So I'm going to get 25 on 2 times 7 on 1 minus 241 on 3. Now, from there, we multiply the tops for the multiplication, so as the down. So 25 times 7 will give me 175. I'm getting 175 on 2 minus 241 on 3. Now from here, we'll find the LCM again. The last line is subtraction. So the LCM here is 6. The LCM here is 6. So 2 going to 6 3 times. 3 times 175 gives me 525 minus 3 goes to 6 2 times. So 2 times 241 gives us 482. Now if we subtract the 2, we are getting 43 over 6. Now 43 over 6, we can convert it back because some of the terms of the question were in mixed fraction, we will have to change our answer into mixed fraction. So we are going to get 7 whole number 1 over 6. 7 times 6 is 42, plus 1 is 43, all over 6. So this is the final answer. Now I want to copy about 3 questions of focus on the board. After that, I'll give my number out. Then I want you to solve them and send it to me on WhatsApp. I'll check them, I'll go through them, I'll check them, and I'll let you know where you had wrong or if you had it right. So thank you very much for watching. Let's copy the questions. Alright, so now we have about 6 questions on the board. I want you to copy the questions. And after you are done, you send it to me on WhatsApp. I'll show you my WhatsApp number very soon. Now the first question says that 2 on 3 minus 1 on 2 in one bracket of 1 over 6 divided by 1 on 2 times 2 on 3 plus 3 on 4, also in one bracket. So it's very simple. You use the board mass, you solve the brackets separately. After that, then you let the off work at the last step, then you get your answer. Now number 2 says 2 over 1 over 4 minus 1 over 5 over 8 in one bracket. Then we also have 4 over 3 of 2 over 9. So let's use board mass. We are going to get, but first we have to convert the mixed fractions into improper fractions before you do it. Now question 3 also has 2 brackets, and the first bracket says that 3 whole number 1 over 2 plus 1 whole number 1 over 4 divided by 3 whole number 1 over 2 minus 1 over 1 over 4. So you solve the 2 brackets separately. After that, the answers that you get, the fractions, 2 fractions that you get, then you make the division work, then you get a final answer. Now question 4 also has 2 brackets with another additional mixed fraction. It's so simple. You solve the 2 brackets separately, you get single fraction here for the 2 brackets. Then after that, you let the division and multiplication work for you, then you get a final answer. Question 3 and question 4 is very simple, but it looks to be in a different dimension. We have 3 whole number 4 over 7 minus 1 whole number 1 over 3 divided by 2 whole number 2 over 5 all over 13 on 3 minus 1 whole number 6 on 7. It's so simple. So with this one, you solve the top. So I'm explaining the 6, 5 and 6. You solve the numerators, then you solve the denominators also separately. Then after that, you will split it up and make it the real division. Then you solve it and get your answer. Now I want you to solve these questions and send it to me on WhatsApp, then I'll check them for you. And if you are not in the WhatsApp group, when you send me the message, I'll join you to the Watch TV WhatsApp group. Now my number is 05000612297. So this is my WhatsApp number for learning. So you contact me with your answers, then I will check it out and I'll add it to the group as well, so that we'll take it from there. So anytime we have a lesson, it will be posted there, and I'll take time out and solve these questions as well and put it on YouTube for everybody to also know the answer. But before I do that, in about a week time, I want you to give me your answers on my WhatsApp number. Now, thank you very much for watching. If you've not yet subscribed to the channel, kindly subscribe to the channel, because we have a lot for you. My name is Surds, and I'm out.